Hello, and welcome to Quest and Show, a play podcast where each episode a new adventurer steps up to fix a broken kingdom. I'm the host and Game Master James, and who's joining us to embark on today's adventure?
Hi, I'm Alice, and today's adventure is going to be Artie Gynk.
Artie Gynk. That is a good name for an adventurer. But before I ask some questions about Artie, I'm going to ask some questions about you. Alice, what would the people at home know you for, or what would you want them to know you for?
I think my kind of go-to tagline is I draw stuff on the internet.
Hey, it's a good tagline, I think.
Yeah.
But you draw, you do the illustrations, you do the paintings. It's all good stuff. You know?
Lots of fan art, lots of just drawing things I enjoy. All the good stuff.
Yeah, this is all good stuff. And any links to your stuff will be in the description for this episode, which is all good. Now, let me give you a brief rundown then, not just for you, but also the people at home, for what Quest and Show is about. Technically, this isn't the first episode. This will be a later episode. So if you've watched one of the earlier ones, I guess you'll know how this was. But let's just say that you're listening to this episode because you like Alice's art and you want to know, hey, what's this all about? So, before we began recording, Alice came up with a character who will be tasked with solving this episode's issue at hand. And over the course of the adventure, I'll be in charge of describing the settings, characters, and situations. And Alice will be in charge of telling me how they'd like to proceed with their actions. Most of the time, these actions won't be challenged. However, there may be opportunities where they'll want to take the advantage, say, get a drop on somebody or parlay for a better deal. Or times when they'll have to defend themselves, either through a little bluffing or combat. During these occasions, they'll be asked to roll 2 6-sided dice for each small advantage they might have going into a situation, such as what gear they have on them or their special expertise. They'll add 1 to the final result. Simply, high numbers lead to great results, and low numbers... what do you think happens on a low number, Alice?
Not much fun.
Not much, no. I'll say that much. Not good, no fun. The rules and system are also linked in the post below. Now, with that out of the way, Alice, is there anything you'd like to say before we get into the adventure proper?
Ooh, goodness. No, just that I'm excited and a little bit nervous.
Good. That is the best thing to be. I will say though, just keep in mind, your actions in this adventure aren't just going to affect what happens to you, but they're also going to affect what happens to every player that comes after you.
Oh, perfect. So, no pressure.
No pressure. Don't worry about it. It's fine. So, with that, let's go to a land out of place and out of time. The kingdom of Trottelera. But we will focus first on your character, Artie Gynk. So, Alice, walk us through it. Who is Artie Gynk?
So, Artie Gynk wants to go and explore the world a bit. She is a half-orc, but she left her family tribe, the Gynks, at quite a young age because she wanted to follow music and the arts and go and explore and hear about adventures. So
wonderful.
That she did. So she went and joined a troupe, and she was with them for a couple of years. And
nice.
Her mentor figure was Old Dwarf, who used to tell fantastic stories about great adventurers that really stirred her imagination. But unfortunately, one evening in wintertime, there was a griffin accident that we don't like to talk about because it brings up lots of sad memories.
I would say so, yeah.
But we lost Old Dwarf that time, and that sent Artie on a new quest to find her own stories, because Old Dwarf had taught her so many great stories that she thought, okay, now it's time to go and find some of my own to tell.
Wonderful. So, the story that you're going to be helping out with today is in the Kingdom of Trottelera, and a person who you only know their name is Prince Pratt. But what I'll ask is, how much do you feel that Artie Gynk would know about this person? Do you want them to be quite? Do you want Prince Pratt to be quite well known to them, or is he a bit of a mysterious figure to Artie Gynk?
I feel Artie may know a lot about maybe their history of the family that Prince Pratt has come from, but maybe not too much about the prince himself, but the family and lineage and the story behind maybe his father or his father's father. But nice. Prince Pratt himself, maybe not so much.
Maybe not so much. That works out pretty well, because that fits with one of Artie's expertises, which is history, as in knowledge of past events and all that sort of stuff. What other expertise does Artie have?
Well, from spending some of her formative years in the troupe and performing, she has also developed some athletic skills.
Nice.
Juggling, balancing on tight ropes, all fun performery things, and also has developed her skill of acting and performing.
Yes.
And,
wonderful.
Playing a good role.
Nice, which is a good fit for this game, which is, I suppose, a role-playing game. So, what's their special something? What's Artie Gynk particularly good at?
So, learnt again from Old Dove, her mentor, rest in peace. The slight trickery and magic of illusions.
Ooh.
To help tell a story mainly, but help set the scene with imaginary flowers on the grass, so if you're being told about a meadow, or seeing the stars in the sky even if it's cloudy, just to add to the scene and the story of the night. That's type wonderful. Of stuff.
That sounds really lovely. That sounds like a good well-rounded ability for all their expertises. And what do they usually bring with them on their adventures?
So in her backpack she has a documents kit.
Nice.
Just so she's got ways to document her adventures.
Yeah, absolutely. A diary, some pens and pencils, something for taking rub-ins. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, maybe a pot of special ink for a special occasion.
Oh, very nice.
And also her juggling knives.
Nice.
Which have only been used in a performance capacity, not for fighting, but for performing and entertaining.
Nice. Oh, sounds like she's roaring and ready to go. So I'll guess what I'll say is what she knows of the royal family is that they are the Hemlocks. The current royal family is made up of King Brennan and Queen Manon, who Brennan's family goes back quite a while in Trottelera. They're all great beastmen who have ruled over the kingdom with a nice mix of strength, courage, and wisdom. However, both King Brennan and Queen Manon have gone missing recently. Not quite sure whether they were kidnapped or perhaps they got lost during a diplomatic mission overseas. But as a result, that has left the kingdom in the hands of Prince Pratt, who I will just say isn't quite prepared for the role at hand. He has tried to bring in people to help find his mum and dad. He's brought in diplomats. He even went for a private detective to look into this stuff, but unfortunately they've all come off a little bit short. And I will say it's a mixture of that and and the fact that he's not very well cut out for running kingdom infrastructure, that the people at Trottelera are beginning to think, is this guy really right for the job? Should we let him on the throne? So I think they're looking at your character Artie as potentially a way to maybe boost their image a little bit, like kind of improve their profile, which obviously it's up to Artie whether she does that or not, but that is why she has been invited to the kingdom of Trottelera this time round. So before we start, before you head off to the castle, is there anything that Artie wants to do?
So what town is the castle in?
The town is in the capital city of Trottelera, also called Trottelera City. It's a great big thing. It looks almost like a lantern that sits on a hill, and the entire city just kind of surrounds it like a donut, essentially, with the city walls around the outside, leading to other parts of the kingdom land.
Fabulous. Well, I think I wouldn't. I don't want to dilly-dally too much, but I will enjoy the scenery, maybe walk through a market, try and take this in, because I'm not very used to big cities like this. So this is probably going to be a little bit of a culture change, it being so busy, but I'm going to take it in my stride, try and walk quite pleasantly. Is it mainly humans in this city?
Trottelera is actually quite a diverse place. Not only human is quite a large population, but they've also got elves, dwarfs, orcs, gnolls, trolls, some automatons, and quite a lot of beastmen. Again, King Brennan and Queen Manon and Prince Pratt are beast people themselves. In fact, they are rumanoids. They look like deer. And there are quite a few animal people like that. There are sheepsies and cows and stuff like that mixed amongst some of the rest of the population. So, interestingly, everybody kind of fits in, though, which is the interesting thing. It is kind of a nice cultural mixing pot in the market of Trottelera, and everybody's kind of got their own wares of, their specific kind of tribal foods and clothing, dyes and inks and stuff like that. The one thing that has seemed to have unified them together, though, is their grumblings about Prince Pratt, however.
So as I make my way to the castle, taking my time, do I hear anyone grumbling about him specifically? Do I pick up any gossip?
As you head into the castle grounds, there are two guards outside. One is a half-elf and the other one is a human. And you do hear them speak back and forth and say, the sooner that we can get the king back, the better, because his son doesn't... Well, he barely knows his arse from his elbow, does he? He got thrown into all this, and I think he's just trying to find anybody who can help him out with all this sort of stuff. If it was up to me, I wouldn't have him on the throne. I'd have somebody with a bit more brains to him, is what you hear.
Okay. Alright, I don't question them about it or anything. I just kind of listen. Do I have to present myself to those guards, or can I keep walking up to the castle?
As you do get up nearer to the castle, though, they do ask you to... They do say, halt, as you get closer, and they say, what is your business being here, miss?
Oh, hello. My name is Artie. My documentation is here. I have been requested to have an audience with the prince.
They have a look at your documentation. They check the photo on it, and they look back at you and they go, all right, yeah, go straight through, missus, as they open their arms to let you through onto the grounds. Proper.
Fantastic. I try and head there in the straightest line as possible.
Fortunately, it is a nice big straight line from the castle gates all the way to the front of the castle. As you head inside, the thing is a great big... Like I said, it's a bit like a big stone lantern, and there's a lot of nice high glass windows in this place that let coloured light through. And as you head in, you kind of look around the place and you see drapes along the wall, and you also see paintings of great kings going back generation by generation, people that you do recognise. In fact, Alice, I will ask you, do you want to come up with a name or two for some of these great kings that have come before?
Ooh, yes. Why not?
Nice. Good. Right. Sorry to put you on the spot. But...
King Uriel.
King Uriel, okay. And has King Uriel got any kind of interesting defining features to him?
He's just a massive man beast.
A gigantic figure that fills the painting side to side. You can barely make out his arms from the... of this man.
He's almost a sphere, and he was renowned for his booming voice.
Again, many kings who have come after King Uriel have had to. They've had very big shoes to fill. Has been the thing. So that's good. I like that. Yeah. No, that's the painting that catches your eye, Artie, as you head in. Is the painting of the great King Uriel, and it seems that just through the generations, the men get slightly smaller and more refined until, as we get to the throne, trying to write out paperwork with one of their advisors is Prince Pratt. And they look very stressed. However, they look over at you, and then they look to their advisor and they seem to whisper something. And then, very panically, they stand up, all the paperwork falling off them, and they go, "Oh, I was waiting for you to get here, hello!" As they trottle down to shake your hand, Artie.
Oh, fabulous. Oh, hello, yes, I am Artie. I am here by request of the prince.
Oh, good, well, that's me. I was the one who requested you. Did you get into the kingdom okay? Is everything fine?
Oh, yes, so as I'm shaking his hand, I'm looking at his face, then looking back up to that painting of the big giant King Uriel, and looking back to the prince, then looking up to...
Yeah, that's my great grandfather, King Uriel. Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. He was the one who founded this entire kingdom with his own hands.
Oh yes, well I know a lot about him.
Wow, what do you know?
I mean, I could tell you plenty of stories, but your missive said this was slightly urgent business, so maybe there's a way I can help.
Well, it's funny actually that you mentioned about stories, because let's just say that I'm having a bit of trouble with my public image recently. I'm sure nobody in the kingdom's been saying, because they all love me, but certain people outside the kingdom seem to think that I'm not doing too good of a job recently, which, again, I don't think that's true. I'm trying as hard as I can, but that's why you're here, because you write stories and you sing songs and stuff, right?
Well, I tell stories, certainly, of great battles and great kings and success and love and loss and epic things, really.
Wonderful. Well, I haven't had a lot of great battles or anything like that, but I'm pretty successful. I mean, I'm the prince of this kingdom, which, I guess gotta stand for something, right? Maybe you could help me. Maybe you could write a story about me and about how great I am, but maybe we might need to go hunting or something, so you might have some inspiration. How does that sound?
I mean, it's a possibility, but I think hunting some animals in the woods might not make the greatest story.
No, but what if I do some hunting in the woods and you get to see how good I was at that, and then maybe we could make that out to be like it was something more impressive? He's kind of looking at you a little bit worried, he doesn't know really what goes into being a great king or anything like that. He does need a bit of help with with improving his public image, unfortunately.
Okay, so are we still shaking hands through all this?
But through all of this, he is continuing to shake Artie's hand. He doesn't know what to do, anything other than that.
So I kind of clamp his hands in my hands. I was like, my prince, I would love to tell a epic story of your great deeds and your great success and your wisdom and cunning. If that starts with a hunt in the woods, then perhaps that is a place we can start.
Okay, I mean, I'm not too good at hunting, but I mean, you do have throwing knives on you, so you should be good at stuff like that. Unless you think there's maybe there's another way that I could, you could write an epic story about me, which, obviously I don't want to get myself hurt or whatever. If we can find something which kind of, I mean, you're a well-traveled person. What kind of stuff do great kings and adventurers do that you've written about?
Oh, well, I mean, it's usually not quite as simple as hunting in the woods. There's epic quests and trials and tribulations and finding love, losing love, sailing across the seas. Maybe not something you could quite do in one afternoon, my prince, but we could start. We could try.
Okay. He looks back at his advisor, who has they're tapping on the sundial on their arm to be like, we would need to do this relatively quick. And he's like, okay, so do you think hunting would be a good start to that?
Well, perhaps. But I'm not a particular hunter myself, my prince. So.
Oh.
I wouldn't know which woods nearby or anything like that. I thought we might, I don't know, seek new adventures, travel west and across the mountains and over the sea to the new lands.
Well, I can't go to new lands, but there is a mountain near here that I've always been meaning to walk up. Would that be good for a story?
I suppose, traveling up the mountain, cresting the top, we could.
He pats his hands together and he's like, "Oh, that's great! All right, I'm gonna go get my climbing gear. All right, just stay right here." The prince seems to hurry off as he wants to go and grab his things. You're left with an advisor who's looking at you very kind of almost with a very sullen face of, God, what's going to happen next?
I look down at my knives that he alluded to and pick one up and just wiggle it around a bit, and they're slightly floppy because they're juggling knives, so they're almost practically foil.
Oh
so I
no.
wiggle it around, and then just put it back, but I don't say anything.
Oh, the advisor looks even more upset knowing that they're not real knives. The prince comes back. He's now wearing a coat which is twice the size of his own body. He looks like he's wearing a crash mat, ready to brace the mountain. And he's like, "Okay, right, let's set off on a great adventure." As he starts to trot out of the castle, waiting for you to come behind. So how does this work? Do I need to do cool poses and stuff, and that's gonna inspire your writing, or what?
I mean, this feels like it should be maybe more natural than making poses, but I mean, I'm sure if we're gonna climb a mountain, we might need, I don't know, supplies. This is really not my area of expertise either. I thought there might be a grand voyage with many attendants and a ship and a crew. Just us two walking up a mountain. It's okay. It'd be fine. Let's try find some, I don't know, supplies.
Okay. You want to go and grab some supplies, do you? I will say then, as you do have a little bit of experience with traveling, roll 2d6.
4.
So that's a 5 then. Oh no. The prince is very excited to get going on this adventure. He brought supplies with him, but they're not very useful. He's brought roast beef sandwiches and a map, which isn't going to be very useful because it's a very pulled out map. It doesn't even show much detail of the mountain it shows you where the mountain is, but it doesn't show you much of the mountain's trail, unfortunately. He did ask some of the guards outside if they would join you two on the adventure. They have all said to him that, "Prince, we are very busy trying to keep this kingdom secure. We can't be gallivanting off on adventures with you." So, unfortunately, no, it is just going to be you and him stuck together going up this mountain.
Fabulous. Okay, but we can make it work. We can make it work.
We can make this work. Yeah, exactly. I think you got a little bit to work with here. We can go from here. We can, maybe fluff up some stuff, maybe exaggerate a few other things. I think you'll be all right. So, you head west to a great mountain that overlooks the kingdom of Trothlera. Alice, what is the name of this mountain?
The first thing that came to my head, I'm going to say it, but that's not what it's called, is Candy Mountain. It's...
Big Rock Candy Mountain.
Mount
Doom.
Mount Doom. No, Mount Pink Eyes.
Mount Pink Eyes?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mount Pink Eyes, which isn't spelt like the word pink eyes, it's actually a little bit fancier than that. Pink Eyes is actually it is the name of a mythical creature that apparently lives on top of this mountain, a great griffin, apparently, which unfortunately may bring up memories of badness that happened with Old Dorf.
Old Dorf, rest in peace.
R.I.P. Old Dorf. Pink Eyes is the commander of this mountain, although it's all mythological. This thing might not actually exist, but many people have gone up to quite near the peak, but nobody has ever ventured all the way up before. But Prince Pratt, knowing that doing such a thing would make him quite well known as a traveller in the kingdom, well, especially he reckons that he can do it in the afternoon as well. He hasn't. I don't think he's quite figured out how maybe poor this plan is so far. But you start at the mountain's base as you head up. He looks back at you and he goes, "So how often have you done stuff like this, like gone up a mountain?"
I mean, I've traversed mountainous terrain before.
Right.
It's not completely out of my comfort zone. But we'll manage. We'll make do. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm not worried about anything. I think, as he says that, his little hoof gets caught in some rocks and he falls over. And he looks like he has sprained his ankle. Little tears have started to well in the side of his eyes. Would you like to help out?
I kneel down next to him and be like, it's okay. Look, your first wound on your quest. Might be best just to walk this one off, but there we go. I can write this down that you suffered an injury early on and it wasn't a setback, and we kept going.
Roll 2d6 plus. Would you argue that this is acting, that you're trying to grin and bear through what's currently happened to him? Oh.
I mean, this whole thing may be acting, really.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Okay. I would say in this case then just roll 2d6.
Oh goodness, that's all right. That is 7.
Okay. He does wipe the little tears from the side of his eyes and he's like, "Oh, okay. I'll just walk through the pain, but I'm gonna need to eat one of these sandwiches to help me get over it." You are now down one roast beef sandwich as the princes quickly scoffed it on the way up the mountain. You two continue to head slightly up then as the day keeps continuing on. Big old fluffy clouds off in the distance, smooth winds, and as you're on the mountain, you do see big chunky mountain goats who are eating grass and, kind of chilling and stuff like that. The prince is looking over at him and he's like, "I've never seen a real mountain goats up this close before," as he wants to go over and pet one of them. What would you... Are you going to hold back or are you going to let him do it?
It might be best to leave them be, my prince, and we have some distance to travel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that sounds like a good idea then. I'll leave them be. He leaves them be and he starts to wander off. However, one of the mountain goats has got a sniff of the roast beef sandwich that is in his supplies and is now starting to follow the pair of you. It is licking its lips. And Prince Pratt's looking back and is like, I think the mountain goat's following us. What should we What do you do when that happens?
I turn around and I look at the goat and be like, shoo, off with you, and keep walking as much as possible. I'm a little bit just heads down and determined just to maybe just if we crest the summit, that might be enough.
Good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Roll 2d6 then to deal with this goat.
5.
That goat didn't like that. It rears up and then it charges you. It has knocked you on your back and you are now winded.
Oh no!
From being hit by this goat in the belly. Oh no, Artie, are you alright?
Yes, I'm fine. Yes, okay, I'm fine.
Prince Pratt is looking at the goat, who is now rearing back, and it looks like it's about to attack him. He's not quite sure what to do. You are puffed, but is there anything you want to try and do to this angry goat?
As I'm winded on the back, I turn to my side and I try and create a illusionary goat, which is just twice as big as that goat, just to be facing him and trying to intimidate him in the opposite direction.
Spook the goat with another goat.
Spook the goat with another goat, but a bigger goat.
I like this. 2d6 plus 1 then.
Oh, nice. That's 10.
Oh, very good. Just before this thing careens into the prince, a great goat appears out of the clouds. A great big black thing with horns like giant giant horns appears from the thing. Yeah, this little goat, it backs up and then bleats away as it wasn't quite expecting that. Also, somebody who wasn't expecting that was Prince Pratt, who starts to now run away from the even bigger goat that has appeared.
I kind of sigh at the prince's reaction, but quite glad the other goat has left. I kind of get to my feet and dispel the illusion. I'm like, my prince, don't flee. It's just make believe. It's pretend. It's part of the story. Don't worry.
Roll 2d6 plus 2, because half of it's acting, which is because that's part of your thing, and the other half is your illusion tech, to try and convince the prince that is what it is.
Okay. Ooh, so we have 8 plus 2, so 10.
10 again. Alright, the prince is huffing and puffing, and he's like, but it looks so real, it looked like an actual giant goat. Are you telling me that was just an illusion?
Yes, so it's part of my magic and my storytelling. So once we've achieved your great quest, I can go forth and tell your story and create some imagery to go with it. I make like a little tiny mountain coming from the ground, the same as Pinky Mountain, and then just like poke a little flag at the top and make the flag wave in the wind, and then dispel it quite quickly.
The prince has never seen something like that before. He is totally bemused by what you've created. It's like, wow. And you'll tell people that I was able to conquer this mountain?
Yes, but I mean it's easier to create the illusions if we see part of this mountain, and
if it actually happens.
and I mean, the more compelling our adventure, the more compelling the story. So let's get at it. Hey, can we reach the top?
I think I can. Now that I've seen that illusion and we've been able to scare away that goat, I know I can do it. Oh, by the way, it puts his hand in his rucksack. He produces the other roast beef sandwich to you. That goat winded you pretty hard, so you'll probably want this, okay?
Oh, I'm taken aback a bit by the generosity. I take the sandwich, but I don't unwrap it. I just put it back in my sack. It's like, let's keep this just in case we may need it a bit later. There's still a lot of climbing ahead.
Okay, thank you. As, with a bit more of a spring in his step, he continues onwards up the mountain. And again, you just see the little kingdom of Trottelera shrink as you go up rock by rock, bit by bit. The mountain goats have started to disperse a little bit the further that you have got up. But you see the peak pretty near now. You're getting there. Like, you actually believe that you could conquer this thing quite easily. But there is a slight problem. Prince Pratt has needed to catch his breath. He's leaned up against the wall, and he's right up against a big old cave that seems to stretch all the way back into the side of this mountain. And you do hear his voice echo off this thing, and it's like, "Oh, Artie, I think we're gonna do this thing, don't you?"
Yes, my prince. We're doing surprisingly well.
We're doing incredibly well. It's almost like time has slipped by very quickly from what has happened. Yeah, I think we can really do it. I'm gonna be one hell of a prince, and I once all this is done. But as he says that, you do hear a come from this cave. Poor Prince Pratt looks white as a sheet from that noise, and he has now disappeared behind your back for protection.
Stay quiet, stay still.
Roll 2d6 plus 1 for adventure and experience to chill him out.
8.
Okay, he's like, I'll keep quiet then. I'll keep stum. But because you rolled an 8, there will be a complication to this. There's a pretty easy complication. Pulling themselves out of this cave is the biggest troll that you have ever laid your eyes on. I will ask Artie, what is the biggest troll you've ever... What was the previous biggest troll that you ever laid your eyes on?
Maybe about 2 meters taller than I am.
Oh, and how tall are you? You're
So I'm about 6 foot.
Okay, so 6 foot is nearly 2 meters. So 2 meters on top of that is 4 meters. Oh god, that's a very big troll. Yeah, this troll is 4.5 meters tall, very easily. A lot of that is hair, though, on its head. This big old great mohawk that it has. Only it has 2 eyes, but one of them is missing, which has been awkwardly bandaged. And yeah, it has hands as big as the whole of Prince Pratt's body as it pulls itself out, and it's like, what are you doing up here?
I look at the prince to see if he's going to say anything, but he's actually listening to the command of be quiet, be still, potentially.
Yeah, he is also freaking out.
So I puff myself up, stand up straight. We have come to conquer this mountain. And to conquer you. My prince is brave and strong and not afraid of danger. And he's going to climb this mountain whether you want us to or not.
What do you mean he's going to conquer me? What have I done?
You're standing in our way of reaching the summit and achieving our goals and our destiny.
The prince is crying because he feels like he's going to have to fight this guy and he doesn't want it. This giant troll has put his tree trunk arm behind you and has picked up the prince by his long old neck as he looks at him. He's like, what exactly are you going to do to me, little guy? As the prince can't say anything. He's just crying. He's just totally defeated. What are you gonna do, Artie?
Okay. How smart are trolls? Like, could I after talking ourselves into this, can I talk myself out of this?
I will say you could potentially talk your way out of it, but it's gonna require a roll to see how successful this is. So make you play first.
Okay. I'm like, wait. We're all adults here. My prince is on a quest, you see, and he must defeat foes and succeed in epic battles and reach the top of this mountain. So, what say you? I have a proposal. Maybe we do not need to fight this out for real, but maybe just flex our fighting muscles in a controlled and relaxed environment so we can simulate perhaps an epic battle, but maybe no one needs to get hurt. I have a tasty sandwich that might interest you.
Oh,
if
okay.
this might sway if you are a little bit peckish.
Roll 2d6 plus 1 for acting, plus 1 for the roast beef sandwich. For the sandwich, yeah.
Oh, no way. I'm not even joking. I rolled double sixes.
Oh, nice. Boxcars.
14.
So we actually... Oh, wow. So not only that, but you're going to get this with an opportunity. He puts the prince down then, who is just completely frozen solid from what's happened, as he's just like... like, he can't believe that this thing is considered like royalty down there. As he looks over you and he goes... Yeah, alright. I've been needing some entertainment up here for years. This would actually be quite a lot of fun, I think. Okay, how do you want to do this then?
Okay, fantastic. Well, first, if you're a bit peckish, do you want to enjoy this tasty sandwich? And I will just converse with my prince here and just plan something out. We'll stage just a nice, simple fight. This is gonna be fine. This is all fine.
This is all good. This is all fine. Okay, the troll puts out his hand, which is it's like as big as a dinner table for this tiny fist-sized roast beef sandwich.
As I put the sandwich in his hand, I make the illusion so around the sandwich it just looks like maybe 3 times as big, but though like it won't weigh any more in his hand or be any more in his mouth. It's just gonna look a little bit bigger. For him.
The illusion has made the sandwich look bigger and maybe generated some light salad around it as well. Okay, yeah, he pops that in his mouth then. Yeah, you're left with the prince then, who just looks like totally shell-shocked.
Okay, my prince, this is the opportunity. This is the opportunity. We just do a gentle sparring session with this quite large troll, and then we can go tell the townsfolk and the country and your kingdom about how you defeated this troll.
Okay, I think I can do that, he says as he tries to puff his chest out and try and soften up, but it's not happening. He's like trying to walk forward, but his legs are like concrete. He's struggling to do this.
Okay, I crouch down and open my rucksack. I was like, here, my prince. Okay, I have this hat of magic strength and courage. This is the hat of magic strength and courage from the kingdom of wonderful, and it's the strength and magic and the courage is all in this magic hat, but the hat doesn't weigh of anything. I'm just going to put it on your head and then you're going to be full of magic and courage and strength.
I thought we were at what?
So I cast an illusion of a hat.
Okay.
And put it on his head to try and see if it might make him feel braver. It's gonna be okay, my prince.
It's gonna be okay, prince. Don't worry about it. Roll 2d6 plus 1.
So what's that? 8 in total?
Okay, so this will work, but with some slight cost or complication to it. So essentially, you wanted this hat to just give him the courage to continue on with what's about to happen here. Okay. He wipes the tears away from his eyes as he starts to get his breathing back to normal. He's like, "Alright, yeah, I think the hat is starting to do its thing. I think I am feeling a bit more courageous now." As he walks up to this troll and he goes, "Alright, give me everything you got." The troll flicks the prince in the head with a finger. The prince flies back, completely... His eyes are spinning. He's completely conked.
I just sigh. I run up to the prince. Is he seriously damaged?
Physically, apart from some bruising around his chin, he is physically all there. His brain might not be though.
I kind of help him up to his feet and put my hand on his shoulders. See, look how well you did. I turn back to the troll. I'm like, okay, maybe we'll need to take this as small steps.
Okay.
And we'll make this work. So, do you mind if you're the losing party in this completely pretend battle? Because we all know if this is a real battle, you'd win and everything would be fine. But do you mind being the losing party in this pretend battle at all, Sir Troll?
Roll 2d6 to see who agrees with this.
Oh, 5.
The child just shakes his head back and forth. It's like, what? But then you'll go back down there and say that I was a pansy who got blown over by this little guy.
I understand. Okay. Is the prince listening to what I'm saying?
Yeah, the prince's ears are twitching like he is listening, but his eyes look like they're on different planets at this point.
Okay. So, you said you were waiting for entertainment, Troll. Can I make you this deal? May you lose this one completely pretend battle, because we all know if this was real, you would completely win. And then I return in the summer with my troupe of performers and spend a whole week giving you performances in the morning and in the evening and entertain you for a whole week during the summer in a few months' time.
Could I get that in writing?
You sure can. I bring out my document kit and start.
You use your documentation. you have one use of your documentation as you write something out, hand it to the troll. The troll looks at it and goes, I can't read, but I'll just assume this is an agreement, yeah?
It is. You have my word, and I make a flourishing bow.
Oh, wonderful. He puts out his hand to shake. The hand is the size of a dinner table.
I shake it in return as much as that is possible.
Nice. You grab one finger in both hands and shake it up and down. Wonderful. Now, the prince is still completely shell-shocked for the time being. How would you like to deal with that?
Okay, my prince. Prince. Look at me. Okay, yes, Prince. So,
Prince.
That was the first round of an epic battle. Remember how we hurt our ankle when we were climbing up the mountain, but we got back up and we persevered and we carried on. You took a little hit to the head by the troll, but you picked yourself up and you carried on.
Roll 2d6 plus 1 then on this Prince to convince him.
Oh no, lost a dice.
Oh.
No. 11?
Very good. Alright. The prince gets his breathing under control and he nods and he goes, alright, yeah, my legs, yeah, I hurt my leg and then he hurt me, but okay. You gotta take a couple of knocks before the good stuff happens, right?
Yes. See, you're picking yourself up, you're being courageous, you're being a future king.
Wonderful. Okay, alright, Mr. Troll, you asked for it. You see the prince run up to sock this troll right in the stomach. Doing so, he hurts his hand very badly against this troll's stomach. But the troll goes, "Oh, you've hurt me," and then sits down, pretending to be knocked out. But he's, unlike you, Artie, he's not a very good actor.
Is the prince believing it? Is the prince believing that his hit done it, or does he know, like, he's well in the fact that this is pretend?
Do you want the prince to be convinced by this?
A little bit, yes. I want him to maybe feel like, yeah, I did it.
You could use a little bit of, not to tell you what to do, but I mean, you are a master of illusions and all that sort of stuff, so maybe you could exaggerate a little bit what happened. So it's up to you, or you can, or just say that. Oh wow, look what you did. You know.
So yeah, I start clapping and applauding and being like, "Look, Prince, you did it!" And like kind of turn my head to the troll and be like, lie down, to try and make him flop over.
Okay, 2d6 plus 1 for acting then.
Ooh, 11.
Okay, a bit more dramatically then the troll goes, "Oh, my stomach has been ruptured. You've ruined me." As like he sprawls out as he tries to like make spit appear around his mouth like he's like he's dying and he's made his eyes roll back.
I nod. It's like, oh, actually that was pretty good. And then just to try and give it a final flourish, I make sparkles dance all around the troll and like fade up to the sky, like it looks like his troll essence escape into the universe.
his soul has left his body onto another plane. The prince looks at his fists as he did that. He's like, "Did I do that?"
You did, my prince. You did. You defeated the foe.
I didn't kill him, did I?
Yes. Yes.
You hear an echo from the bottom of the cave that says, "Grandcul, are you there? Your dinner's ready." As the prince looks at you and he's like, "Oh no, did we kill that troll's husband or son? Artie, what did we do?"
My prince, you defeated your foe. Now all we have to do is climb up to the top of the mountain.
Get out of here
and keep going.
What if that troll was like? What if he was a part of the kingdom? What if he was like? Oh no! What have I done? As he starts to like run away up the top of the mountain from what could happen next.
I put my hand on my head a little bit as I'm walking. I didn't second guess that's what his reaction may be. Once he's maybe a bit further in front of me, can I like take a look back down to make sure the troll has got up and gone back inside to go have his dinner?
You hear the troll say, "I'm out here, I'm coming back." As he gets up and he points over at you and he goes, "Remember our deal, yeah?"
I illusion a magical thumbs up so he can see it from the distance.
A giant glittering thumbs up. Nice. Wonderful. The prince is actually very near the how far did you wanted to take him to? You didn't want to take him all the way up, did you? You just wanted to take him like far enough up the mountain that it would seem quite impressive. Yeah?
Well, originally, like maybe summiting the mountain may have been our challenge, but we have defeated the troll. So, but I do not want to spend the night on the mountain.
The day has started to turn deep into.
Okay.
The sun has started to go down a little bit. It is starting to turn into the evening now, which, if you want to get off the mountain, you might have to stop pretty soon.
Okay. Have we come across any other caves or anywhere that we could try and find shelter for the night?
Roll 2d6.
6.
Ooh, no. The further you get up the mountain, a lot more the rocks start to fuse together, and there isn't really like a lot of outcroppings or whatever. You haven't got a lot of shelter options up here.
Okay. I bring this up with the prince then. So my prince, I think summiting this mountain today is not going to happen. We can start to make our way back down. We'll probably have to head back down quite quickly. Otherwise it's going to be a long, comfortable night for us.
But if I don't make it to the summit, then people aren't going to... Didn't you say that I had to make it to the summit, otherwise the story isn't going to be real, or what?
I did. But you did defeat a troll, a very large troll, which is the start of an epic story.
I guess that's true, even though I didn't want to kill him. Okay, alright, I think I can... Alright, next time maybe I'll bring like a sleeping bag or something and we'll do this again. But alright, we can make this out to be more impressive than it was. Which, I mean, it was already very impressive. I did manage
fantastic.
to destroy that troll with one fist.
You did, my prince. I did try and stifle a laugh as well. to him. You did.
No, you didn't. Yeah.
Wait, okay, let's head back down because we'll have to head back down quite quickly. But hold on a moment. Is there a part of the mountain which might go up and down a bit? Basically, I want to maybe illusion enough of a backdrop so he could feel like he's standing on top of the mountain, perhaps.
There is a nice little rocky outcrop which kind of looks like it could be the peak of the mountain if you didn't look. From where you're standing, it is nicely crested against the kingdom. However, if you flip it around, you see the wall of the rest of the mountain. So.
We'll go to there, and like maybe if I have to, maybe illusion some clouds because I won't be able to do anything like crazy big or dramatic, but maybe some clouds like near his feet, so it looks like he's higher up than he is. And just like stand by there, my prince. Stand by there, and do your pose.
He gets into position. What kind of? He's not very good at poses. What kind of good pose do you think?
Oh, classic ones. Both hands on your hips, one leg up. Maybe arms folded and head slightly tilted to the side. Maybe one knee in with like the thinker with your fist underneath your chin. And so I do all these in quite quick succession for him. I say, do your poses.
It's good. It's like it's like you're doing a model shoot for him. It's just like, all right, work the illusion, yeah, baby, like that. All right, okay. I would say then, yeah, he does do that. He is very excited though because he has had a very adventure-filled day, probably a more adventure-filled day than he's ever had, unfortunately for him. But with that, you're gonna head down the mountain and. Did you discuss with the prince what your payment was going to be for this, or what were you hoping for from helping him out?
Ooh, just an epic story to tell. Although that perhaps may not be what I receive. I was hoping a several-day voyage across the oceans and to see new worlds. I don't say this to him, of course.
No, but this is what you were thinking. You could bring this up with him, though, like, look, you've done this, but that's only step one. If you really want to be, like, known as eventually a great king, you're going to have to do this stuff. So, okay.
As we walk down, I will tell him that type of thing. Like, this is step one on your quest, and I'll try and entertain him with, like, historical stories that I know as we're walking down of great kings of the past and remind him that these are his ancestors and the same courage and wisdom that were in their veins runs through his, and try and inspire him a little bit as I'm making our way back down.
Roll 2d6 plus 2 then for this.
Ooh, not great. 6 plus 2, 8.
Oh, that's an 8. Okay, so that is what you wanted with a complication. So, yeah, what you want from this is to be able to tell epic stories. However, there will be a complication to this, and I can think of a pretty good one, which is the prince gets down the mountain. He's like, even though my mom and dad are missed, maybe I should leave the kingdom. Maybe I should start going off on adventures and stuff, and actually like try and figure that stuff out. And you'll join me on these adventures, won't you? You and your troop. We'll go off and we'll do adventurous stuff, right?
I mean, there's definitely a time for that, my prince. Maybe once the kingdom is settled and your family's found. But there's definitely time for that in your long, long life ahead of you.
Okay. Could I get something in writing?
I whipped out another parchment of paper. I was like, yes, my prince. I'll even use my best ink to promise this to you. Like, get my
wonderful.
fancy ink. And write him, one day me and my troop will join you on a wondrous adventure across the seas, financed by the crown because of its importance. Once the kingdom is calm and at peace, and your mother and father found home safe.
So once Mom and Dad are found, we're going to go off on an adventure. We're going to be punching trolls and all sorts of stuff. I can't wait!
I can't wait either, my prince. It'd be fantastic.
Ah, wonderful. But from here, you will take the story of the prince's trip up a mountain, falling on a rock, getting chased by a goat, and then fighting a troll far and wide. I will ask though, how do you how do you embellish this story, or how do you improve on what happens?
I mean, perhaps it happened over 5 audious days, and it was raining and terrible weather. When I recreate the story, when we get back to the castle, and I'm telling his advisors that it's there is a few embellishments of the story in general.
Okay. Alright, but I think this could help the prince's image a little bit, especially with some of the people down there who don't think him much of not even a King Uriel or even a King Brennan. They just think of him as a bit wet behind the ears, but this might change their mind. That being said though, he did punch a troll to death, which that could spell some complications for the troll community, but we'll see what happens with that. But with that, what I will ask is, Artie, is that your adventure with Prince Pratt is over for now. But what do you get up to after this? What's ahead of you?
I think while I'm in the city, I might go and visit some taverns and maybe pick up on any gossip of anything exciting happening soon.
Nice.
I think I'll return to my troop for the summer to make sure we can make the most of the summer season and do new plays and explore and all that type of fun stuff. But I don't think I quite found my epic story that will make me remember Old Dwarf's name quite yet.
No, not yet. It will happen one day, but it didn't quite happen in the Kingdom of Trottelera with Prince Pratt. But hey ho. But alright, I think with that though, I think that is the end of the adventure, and I guess with that, the end of Quest in Show. So, Alice, how did you find that?
That was really fun.
Good, glad to hear it. I've been asking people that, and they've all been saying that, so that's all good. That's what I want to hear.
I think as I'm not quite as used to this system of playing as well, I really like the consequences. That is good fun. Yeah,
I quite like those. That's my favourite element of it as well. It's just even if you do something you want, it still might lead to a complication. Mm-hmm. So. Good stuff. So before we finish up, is there any last things you want to say? Any things you want to promote? Or?
Oh, goodness. I mean, trying to get 2,000 followers on Twitter by the end of 2020.
Woo!
Woo-woo! So I'm kind of NerfAlice on all sort of social things like that. But nice. I think that's kind of, that's it.
Good. Well, I'll make sure to put those links in the episode description. And I guess for that, that is the end of another episode of Quest and Show. So thank you for listening. If you watch this on YouTube, make sure to like and comment. And if you're listening to this on a podcast app, be sure to leave a review because it will help us out. So until next time, thank you and goodbye.